Pastor Ernest Howie is about to fly to Uganda to wind up his aid charity. That's because he stands to lose more than £600,000 he deposited in the Presbyterian Mutual Society, which has now called in the administrators. Unlike banks, the savings aren't guaranteed by the government, and he says the church itself should shoulder responsibility.
The church, I think, ultimately cannot walk away from it. They have been trying to distance themselves, but yet if you read the Constitution and read the report of the administrator, you can't separate the Presbyterian Church from the Presbyterian Mutual Society.
He is one of 10,000 people chasing up to £300 million originally invested in the Mutual Society. Lawyers for the church itself have advised it's legally separate and under no obligation to pay back any money, but Channel 4 News has learnt the church was aware of the society's exposure to risk. In front of the church's board last year, the Mutual Society directors reported an increase in the volume of lending and commercial property investments, but the church still resolved to encourage congregations and individuals to avail themselves of its services. Do you think because the church encouraged people to invest, there is a moral duty for the church itself to repay some of this money?
That is a question which we have to look at, and when our General Assembly meets, the policy-making legislative body of our church, that will be one of the questions addressed. It will be up to the Assembly to decide what we can do on that basis. But it certainly is a huge question that faces us.
Short of selling all its churches and property, the Presbyterian Church can't afford to help financially. Yet 6 out of 20 directors of the Mutual Society are church ministers. So the General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church will meet here to discuss all this next week. What started as a crisis in confidence over bank deposits has now grown into a crisis for the church itself. I met 4 investors who could lose thousands of pounds. 2 of them are elders and treasurers of local churches.
I feel that the church is losing credibility because it looked as if they were recommending the Presbyterian Mutual. Also in the terms of the Mutual, if the Mutual was wound up, any profit was go to the Presbyterian Church, so they can't really disassociate themselves from it completely.
We ask for government to please help us and look into our situation sympathetically. Whatever has gone wrong is not the responsibility of the savers. They just need to know that they've got their security back and their money back.
The Treasury says the society wasn't registered as a bank with the Financial Services Authority, so isn't covered by compensation. If it had been operating as a bank, it warns, that would be illegal.
Maybe they should have registered themselves for regulation by the FSA if they really wanted to do some of what it appears that they were doing. They got into areas of banking business that really an industrial and provident society shouldn't have been in.
The administrator is investigating the conduct of the society directors. Meanwhile, the numbers who've signed a petition for government help stands at more than 7,000, and hundreds of millions of pounds invested by church congregations and individuals remains frozen.